We are live from Reddington Beach.
Hi, Liliana.
Hi, Bernie.
We're here today to talk about sellers, helping them figure out how to get the most money for their house, because there is a price for every single condition, and we want to raise the condition to the maximum possible. So tell us how we do that.
First of all, the seller needs to want to do that.
Correct.
Because sometimes sellers decide to sell the property as is and don't have any kind of trouble to do anything at the house.
Yeah, a lot of them balk at it and they just want to do nothing.
Correct.
Yes.
It's perfectly fine.
Yes.
What I have a problem with when the seller don't have a clear path and they don't understand the consequences of their choices. And I've been in this business for over 15 years, and I see a lot of sellers that could have got more money from their house, or they would have sold faster if they would have listed at the right price.
Correct.
Most of the time, they do not listen to the realtor.
Yes. That's why sometimes it's better to be the second one in line and not the first one.
That's so true. True. So the ideal, every house, like we talked earlier, every house can sell if it's priced at the condition.
Correct.
The question is, what is the right price for the existing condition? And this is how we can help.
Right. Obviously, typically, as the realtor, I would run the comps. I will come up with a recommendation of a price range, or we should start. Of course, the seller has their own idea of what that should be.
Yeah.
And then you have your own methods of figuring out what you think the current market value is, correct?
Correct. It's a little bit more than what I think. It's what the market says. We all have been dealing with years of the Zestimate's value.
Right.
So what the Zestimate does, takes a value, an algorithm on the market, and gives a price for that market based on the algorithm. Doesn't take into consideration the condition, and doesn't take into consideration maybe across the street is another market.
Correct.
So that is what my tool. So I create a tool called Maximate that gives the sellers and the agent, because we all need to be very clear on our goals and what we want to achieve.
Right.
And what the Maximate does, creates based on the AI algorithm, it's a proprietary algorithm, spits out 3 numbers. What is the right listing price for the house in the condition as is,
yep,
to make sure it sells,
right,
not a wishful listing price.
Right.
Okay, so we are clear on that. Second, what is the maximum value of that house a market will be willing to pay with the minimum improvements? This is crumbs.
Yeah.
And the third number is how much investment needs to be done to cover the bridge. So this is how much it costs to cover the bridge.
Right. And ideally, the investment should be less than the total value gained.
Actually has to be much less, because the goal is, how this improvement, when I said the minimum improvement, this is another key, is that if it's dollar per dollars, why do it?
Correct.
If it's just 10% profit, still why do it? Because you still have the holding cost and you still have the risk of the market. So unless we have a generous return of investment, it's not worth it to do that work.
Or sell quicker. That would be a benefit.
Correct.
Yeah.
But again, we cannot promise anything. We are both professionals.
Correct.
And we don't want to get in trouble.
Correct.
So we want to be what's in the best interest for everyone. And that investment, so how the algorithm is created based on our experience, a good return of investment will be minimum 3 times the investment.
Okay.
So that is our parameter. So when we walk in a house, unless the house needs 4-point inspection, like a roof, AC, that is not in the algorithm. That
Correct.
it's like you cannot sell a house without.
Yeah, it has to pass all that.
Exactly, yes. But for the cosmetic part, we're looking at a minimum 3 times return of investment.
Okay, that's a good, fair amount. Wait, so how do we go about making this happen? So let's say I'm about to go list a property. I have an idea of what the market value is right now. I want you to make it the best it can be. What's the first step?
The first step is we have to run the Maximate.
Okay.
Because you can.
So do I submit that? That's the
best.
agent?
Yes, the best will be the agent.
And what do you need for that?
So
from me.
What I need to go on our website, investorsystem.com, and request the Maximate report.
By submitting the address.
By submitting the address, your information, and if the house never been listed in the condition that it's right now, and I can my algorithm can pull it from the past resources, I will need certain photography and videos to be uploaded because the software takes into consideration.
And I could do that right then and there as I create that record.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Because typically I would have pictures of the condition of the house as it is right now.
Perfect. So you just upload those.
Yeah, okay.
It's very, very easy. And in 24 hours, you have the report.
Okay.
And it's up to you and the seller to decide what is the best direction. Sell it as is or maximize the value.
Okay, would you provide like a list of things that can be selected or cannot be selected of upgrades? Or do you offer a whole package and say, this is everything we recommend? Or do you provide like a menu? Okay.
We are not a menu. So going back to the Maximate, minimum value, maximum value, how much needs to be invested to cover that bridge.
Okay.
That is a formula that is very important to be followed exactly as is. The reason is, just imagine a bridge. If you take out 10% of the bridge, you do not have 90% of the bridge. You do not have a bridge.
Right.
Everything falls. So
right.
It's exactly the same here. Everything is calibrated to obtain that final look, to get that maximate value.
Together, yes.
What happened, and I'm seeing over and over, sellers decide to do a menu, a la carte, choose whatever they believe should be done, and that money are wasted. It's better don't do anything because we don't reach. The goal is to have the buyer fall in love with the house.
Right.
Every purchase decision starts with the buyer. Unless we have the buyer in mind, doesn't matter what the seller needs, we need the buyer to love the house.
Correct.
And there is a specific flow that we are going through, starting from the curb appeal. So like, we cannot say, oh, you do everything inside and I don't want to spend the money outside. It doesn't work like this.
Right, but you don't touch anything outside.
I do.
Okay, you do. So what all do you touch outside?
Everything that makes the buyer fall in love online from the first picture.
Okay.
So that is very important. Do you know? Are you aware about this false price syndrome? False high price syndrome.
Tell me about it.
So false high prices syndrome is like where you put a house on the market and you have no showings. What is your thought? Or?
It's too overpriced.
Correct, and you drop the price.
Yep.
But you know what is the other reason why you don't have showings?
That you haven't prepared the house for the market.
Correct, and usually it's the first picture. The buyers, when they receive their feeds, they start clicking through the pictures.
Right.
If the first pictures tells them, I'm a headache, they do not click next picture. They
Zillow claims it's the first 5.
First 5, but some realtors they do 15 pictures or 20 pictures for outside.
Yeah.
But I'm saying even 5, if they not fell in love with the first pictures,
you're done,
you are done and you lose that buyer.
Attention, yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what you do inside, if it's not coherent with what is outside, you lose that buyer.
Correct.
So that I call it false high price, because you drop the price, to get the buyers, and sometimes it's just changing the front door color picture.
Yep.
You know, so it's so easy.
Yep. Okay. All right. So within 24 hours, you now give us the Maximate report.
Yes.
And now the seller has something in their hands, so they can decide if a 3 times, 4 times, or 6 times improvement.
Even if it's double their money, between you and I, with the bank interest right now, they don't double. Yes, correct.
And hopefully selling quicker, which is a benefit.
Correct.
So now they have the tools available to them to make the house the best it can be before going on the market.
Correct.
So now they sign the agreement with you, and then you get to work. So
not yet.
Okay. What's
not
next?
yet. It's not that easy. So again, they have first step. It's their job to decide. Be really convinced what we go. So let's say they go to Maximate. Correct. That was the question. So the next step will be to do in-person evaluation.
Okay.
And figure out what exactly is within that range.
Right.
And we have a software and a program, we call it Visual Estimate.
Do you have something available for the seller that will tell them what it is you do and what it is you do not do?
I tell them what I do. What I don't do, I cannot tell them what I do. So the next step, it's a visual estimate. Nobody does something like this. So visual estimate is very important for everybody to understand where we're going. Remember, we talk about that bridge.
Right.
Okay. So, my goal is to eliminate that objection. Oh, I don't want to do this. And they will see on my visual estimate, because I show them before and after pictures, so they will see. And the moment they say, oh, I don't want to do this item, they will see how it look, and they will see how the buyer will look at.
Right.
So I go and show them room by room where I do all the
before and
after with exact scope of work and the total amount.
Okay.
So they will have full control, and they can, with that visual estimate, they can go out and interview 10 contractors, do the job themselves, whatever they have the tool, and they will be able to compare apples with apples, control the outcome, and this is very important.
Right.
A lot of time you don't have that. You go and you go like,
but they will find out that nobody can do it as good as you.
I give them the option.
To go.
I give them the option.
They should go and get second opinions.
And you know, but a lot of time I get realtors that they want to do this. They believe it's their job to do this, and it's not correct, because the job of the realtors is to sell the house, not the project management.
Correct.
And if they sell the house, the sellers should be happy they sell the house, the end product of the realtor.
We help wherever we can help. We have resources.
Exactly. So
we'll bring resources.
Exactly. This is the reason. So if you want to do it, I will give you the visual estimate.
Right.
And you can do it yourself. Ask people. Of course, by the time you finish, get bids from everyone else, I would have finished the job, because in 10 days it's market ready.
Right. It will take longer than that, probably.
Correct. But
yes. Okay. So we talked about the investment, and you're saying that typically the investment needed is a fraction of the benefit gained, which is a good thing. And that comes from many years of your own experience.
15 years experience.
Yeah, 15 years of experience. So you're not just pulling this out of thin air. And then you say, once the agreement has been finalized and the seller is willing to move forward, you can have this ready within 10 days.
Yes.
And then it will be time to list the house and go officially on the market.
Yes, so 10 days to market, literally 10 days to market. The only things we need from the seller is to sign on the dotted line.
And tell me a little bit about the financing of all this, because it costs money to make improvement.
And does
the seller have to come up with any money?
This is a really good question, and I consider the program we are running is I consider like a free money. The reason I consider free money, usually when you talk about return of investment means you invest money and you get return of your money.
Right.
With our program, you get the return, and out of that return, you pay
the money.
Pay this. So literally, you invest zero. And in mathematics, I'm an engineer, and I have an MBA. So I love math.
Right.
So when you divide something by zero, means infinite.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't matter. It's infinite value because you pay from what you get more.
Yeah, but ultimately you get paid at closing, right?
We are working with a third company that finance the process.
Okay.
They pay us, and the seller pays the third party company.
At closing.
At closing, yes.
Okay.
And it's very affordable. It's 30 seconds application. Doesn't go on their credit score. It's literally immediate.
Right. Okay. Okay, is there anything else magically that we need to understand about the system, the program, that will help a seller to fully grasp what benefits are incorporated into?
I think the most important thing is to trust their realtor. So if you spend time to be here with me and have this video, you care about them and their outcome.
Correct. Yep.
And this is like you already put the time for them to understand what is their interest. Of course, it's up to them if they want to use your knowledge or not, but it's like going to a doctor. You go and pay a specialist, and the specialist tells you exactly what to do, and after you go home, and because the wife and the neighbors told you something else, you choose to follow their advice. It's the same thing. Unfortunately, I see seller choosing friends and family advice against the realtor advice. So that will be my biggest ask to the sellers. Listen to your realtor, follow their leads. They spend this, they live with this, they do this every day. A seller maybe sell a house once every 5 years, market.
If that,
exactly, market changes. And the truth of the matter, the realtor and the seller has exactly the same goal, to sell that house in the shortest time. And we go to the doctor or the specialist because they know better. The same thing. Yep. Otherwise, they can sell themselves if they believe they know better. So that is my biggest advice. Follow your lead. Get all the information. Because once you get the information, it's much easier to make the right decision. When you have a lot of information everywhere, it's very difficult. You get confused and stressed.
Yeah, and oftentimes the question is, where does a seller put money? What is it worth to improve? And you provide an option that will, across the board, provide an improvement that would raise the level to the highest possible. And so that's a good option to have.
Yeah.
It's a good option to make available to the seller. Well, ultimately, they can still go and say, I want to sell it as is, and that's what it's going to be. And
as long as they don't overprice. We all know, if we don't price at the condition right,
correct,
eventually they will sell under the price you suggest them to sell.
And then the market can change while you are waiting for the right price.
Correct. And chasing the market down is never a good idea.
Correct.
Okay, so seller, listen to Bernie.
That's what we're here for, to help you make the right move.
Exactly. Okay.